Good morning. I would like to call to order the meeting of the Legislative Committee meeting for the California Board of Accountancy. Let's begin with a roll call, please. Can we begin on this end?
Deirdre Robinson.
Mary Jiang.
Nancy Corrigan.
Luz Molina Lopez. Okay, thank you. Agenda item 1 is approval of the minutes of the September 26, 2019 Legislative Committee meeting. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? Seeing none, we are ready to call for the vote.
Nancy Corrigan,
Yes.
Mary Jiang,
Yes.
Luz Molina Lopez,
Yes?
Carola Nicholson,
Abstain.
and Deirdre Robinson.
Abstain.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 2. This is final actions and outcomes on legislation that the CBA took a position on in 2019. This is item 2, and it is a written report. Are there any questions or comments from the members on this report? Any questions or comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, we can move on to agenda item number 3. Mr. Peter Renovitz is here to walk us through this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members. The purpose of this agenda item is to provide the California Board of Accountancy the opportunity to consider and approve an amendment to Business and Professions Code, Section 5007. The proposal would authorize the Secretary-Treasurer or another CBA member, as specified, to preside over CBA meetings. Currently, this code section provides authority for the President or the Vice President, in their absence, to preside at CBA meetings. This section also allows the CBA to prescribe other duties of the CBA officers. If the President and Vice President are unable, this specifies in statute, Secretary-Treasurer shall preside over CBA meetings. In the unlikely event that all CBA officers are unavailable, the President could appoint another CBA member to preside. Staff recommends the CBA approve the proposal and seeks staff to seek its inclusion in a 2020 omnibus bill, or if necessary, seek an author to carry a separate bill. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the members? No. I do have a question. Do you have an idea or sort of do you understand if it is likely to go in the omnibus bill, or we will need to find an author for the bill? Do you know if it'll go one way or the other?
We really do not know that at this time until we have an opportunity to speak with legislative committees.
Okay, so it's very early on.
It's very early.
Thank you.
I'd like to add something. Omnibus bills, my understanding is that it's typically just non-controversial items, and I can't imagine why this would be super controversial, but, so at least you can guess how it might go, but obviously there's no real answer until they talk to someone, but.
Great. Thank you for that clarification. Okay, let's see. So we do need a motion to approve the proposed language. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
So second.
Any further discussion? Any questions from the public? Okay, we can proceed with the vote.
Deirdre Robinson? No. Carola Nicholson?
Yes.
Luz Molina Lopez,
Yes?
Mary Jiang,
Yes.
and Nancy Corrigan.
Yes.
Thank you. With that, the motion passes. Let's move on to item number 4. And we have Mr. Aaron Bone here to help us with this item. Mr. Bone, will you please proceed?
Happily, Madam Chair, thank you. Earlier this year, the CBA directed staff to develop a legislative proposal that allows CPA exam candidates nearing completion of their education to sit for the exam prior to degree conferral. In furtherance of this direction, the proposal before you grants the CBA authority to establish by regulation the necessary requirements and criteria to implement this new policy. This proposal does not establish detailed requirements in statute. Instead, it provides broad parameters for the CBA to consider when developing its regulations. It also authorizes the CBA to withhold the release of exam scores for applicants who do not meet the requirements adopted by the CBA. Taking this approach allows the CBA flexibility to make any future necessary changes to this program through regulation rather than seeking additional statutory changes through the legislature. To help accelerate this process, staff suggests conducting any necessary research and drafting the required rulemaking materials in conjunction with the legislative process. Staff have already reached out to other state boards of accountancy that have similar policies in place to seek their input. Attachment 2 contains a summary of that initial research. Staff recommends the CBA approve this proposal and direct staff to seek its inclusion in an omnibus bill, or if necessary, seek an author to carry a separate bill. Further, staff recommend the CBA direct staff to draft rulemaking materials pursuant to this proposal and place them on a future CBA meeting agenda. With that, Madam Chair, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you for the input on what other states are doing along this matter. I am always curious to see what the rest of the nation has in mind. Why were these specific states chosen for this chart here?
To our knowledge, these are the 4 states that have a similar policy in place. So the goal was to provide a quick overview of how those different state policies kind of match up.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from the committee members? Okay, so we do need a motion. Let's see, the CBA is being asked to approve the proposed language and direct staff to seek inclusion of this in the omnibus bill, or if necessary, seek a legislative. Am I at the right one? I am. Sounded a lot like the last one.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
to make a motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the public? Seeing none, we can call for the vote.
Nancy Corrigan,
Yes.
Mary Jian,
Yes.
Luz Molina Lopez,
Yes?
Corolla Nicholson,
Yes.
and Deirdre Robinson.
Yes.
Great. With that, the motion passes. Thank you. Moving on to item number 5, Mr. Bone.
I have no items for this, Madam Chair.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so let's see, item number 6. This is a time for public comments. Seeing none. Item number 7, are there any agenda items for the next meeting that our committee members would like to propose? Thank you. With that, this meeting is adjourned.